The threat of foot and mouth disease in Australia is ever present. The potential impact it could have on Australia's dairy industry is significant. In the event of a foot and mouth disease outbreak in Australia, movements of raw milk will be allowed from lower-risk premises under strict permitting conditions, including the decontamination of milk tankers at certain points in their journey. Efficient and effective tanker decontamination procedures will help maintain business continuity for dairy farmers and processors and provide a secure milk supply for consumers. This video has been produced to provide guidance on how to establish and operate vehicle decontamination stations within declared areas in the event of a foot and mouth disease outbreak. It outlines considerations and procedures for decontaminating milk tankers onto and off lower-risk dairy premises to reduce the risk of disease spread via tanker movements. Vehicles and equipment moving from a potentially infected but undetected property pose a potential risk for spreading foot and mouth disease unless vigorous decontamination procedures are undertaken. Decontamination, also known as cleaning and disinfection or C&D, is a combination of physical and chemical processes that remove and inactivate infectious disease agents. The first step of decontamination, known as cleaning, involves the physical removal of organic matter from surfaces, usually with a solution of water and detergent, administered with a high-pressure washer. Disinfection is the second step and is the process of applying a chemical disinfectant to a cleaned surface for the required contact time to inactivate the pathogen. Setting up the decontamination station. Where possible, set up the decontamination site on hard-standing bitumen, concrete or gravel surfaces, outside or adjacent to the entry-exit point or designated line of separation. This will be between clean and potentially contaminated areas, as indicated by the red line. When siting the decontamination area, the key considerations are safety and biosecurity. Consider hazards associated with other road users. Controlling access to the premises is essential. The entry-exit point should be clearly marked with a highly visible barrier to restrict unauthorised movements. This area should become a designated exclusion zone from all unnecessary objects, including susceptible animals, pets, people, machinery and equipment. It is important to have a designated administrative point away from the decontamination area, where personal protective equipment and supplies can be safely stored and vehicle movements recorded. For large sites, or if centralised decontamination stations are being used for extended periods, consider the need for artificial lighting, shelter and portable amenities. It is important to communicate with the Environment Protection Authority on the choice of chemicals for cleaning and disinfection and the management of wastewater. Equipment. There are key pieces of equipment required to effectively clean and disinfect milk tankers. Decontamination stations could consist of equipment supplied by the farmer, equipment supplied by contractors, emergency response agencies or hire companies. The equipment may range from portable pressure washers or trailer units through to fixed or mobile automated drive-through facilities. Essential items include a pressure washer system and water source capable of delivering approximately 2,500 psi. This should not exceed 3,000 psi at close range in order to prevent damage to equipment and to minimise sprayback clouds and drift. You will need sufficient lance length for access to dual wheels and a hose length between 10 to 20 metres to avoid constantly having to move the vehicle. A low-pressure disinfectant system with a minimum of 100 litre capacity with applicator lance and similar hose length. The use of detergent applied as a foam through a low-pressure applicator system and hot water, incorporated through a high-pressure cleaning system, may also be used to enhance the overall cleaning process. Supplies. The Standard Operating Procedure document contains a comprehensive list of the supplies you will require. It is recommended to have a minimum 4-day supply of these on hand at all times. Communication between the producer, decontamination personnel and tanker driver is essential prior to crossing the line of separation. If there is any reported suspicion of disease in animals since the last milk pickup, do not proceed until advised otherwise by the regulator. It is important that the decontamination process and on-farm expectations are explained clearly to the driver so that biosecurity and safety are not compromised. Record vehicle entry and exit details on a daily log, including date and time of vehicle movements, driver and vehicle details, treatments completed, and any other relevant observations. Putting on the appropriate protective gear. Any personnel entering the decontamination area must put on PPE that has been inspected and deemed to be fit for purpose. Refer to chemical safety data sheets and the OSVET Plan Decontamination Manual for information on standards. Put on protective footwear. Cover the top of footwear with protective outerwear or seal with tape to prevent water and disinfectant running down the pant leg inside the footwear. Waterproof outerwear can reduce personal contamination in this setting, provided that the weather is not too hot. Ensure coveralls and gloves are appropriate for the chemicals being used, and completely cover all street clothes and exposed skin. Cover wrist openings with protective outerwear or seal with tape to prevent water and/or disinfectant running inside. Put on a face shield over the hooded outerwear or don safety glasses. Inspecting and cleaning the vehicles. On arrival at the premises, the milk tanker must be assessed as to the level of decontamination required to fulfill the requirements of the movement permit issued by the regulator. Walk around and inspect the exterior of the vehicle for gross contamination, focusing on the tyres, wheel arches, undercarriage, mud flaps, splash guards and steps. If there is heavy contamination, consider pre-soaking with a foam-based detergent solution prior to high-pressure cleaning. Where possible, it is preferable to use hot water and detergent to enhance the cleaning process. Neutral pH detergents and cleaning agents are preferred and include products such as truck wash. Truck wash products need to be wax-free to ensure the effective contact of disinfectants with vehicle surfaces. Physically remove all observable organic matter from milk tanker surfaces. Start with the dirtiest areas first and work towards the cleaner areas. Following a thorough wet cleaning, remove all detergent residues by applying a water rinse on surfaces, starting with the top of the tanker and working down. This is important as some detergents may interfere with the activity of disinfectants. Allow the tanker to air dry as much as practically possible. Applying disinfectant to wet areas can reduce the effectiveness of the disinfectant. Monitor the wash water to ensure it is properly contained. The wash water must not reach animal holding areas due to the potential risk of exposure to viable virus. Disinfecting vehicles. Following the cleaning process, disinfect the tanker with an FMD approved disinfectant. Refer to the OSVET Plan Decontamination Manual and the Australian Pesticides and Veterinary Medicines Authority website for details on disinfectant options and emergency use permits. Always handle chemicals according to label directions or AVPMA permit conditions to ensure the safety of the user and the effectiveness of the disinfectant. Apply the disinfectant to the cleaned areas of the vehicle, starting with the tyres to maximise contact time before moving. During the decontamination process, have the driver move the vehicle slightly forwards or backwards to ensure that the underside of the tyres can be adequately cleaned and disinfected. Allow the disinfectant to contact the surfaces for the prescribed contact time to inactivate the virus. Most disinfection solutions must remain wet to actively work. Reapplication may be necessary particularly on hot, windy days. On completion of the entry C&D process, direct the driver to the milk collection area and reinstate the traffic management controls. If farm personnel have the ability to connect the milk collection hose and perform milk sampling procedures, the driver can remain within the vehicle. This minimises the risk of contamination and removes the need for decontamination of both the driver and the vehicle's cabin. If it is necessary for the driver to leave the cabin, they must don appropriate personal protective equipment, including gloves, a waterproof apron or jacket, and either disposable boot covers or waterproof footwear capable of being decontaminated. This PPE can then be removed and either decontaminated or safely discarded before re-entry into the cabin. After milk collection, internal surfaces in the cabin and milk sampling compartments may require hand cleaning with cloths, wipes, and a disinfectant to reduce contamination. Disinfectants applied in these areas must be non-hazardous to the operator and safe for use around sensitive electronic components. Prior to the tanker's departure from the property, it may be necessary to undertake the full cleaning and disinfection process again. This can be done at the original decontamination area, so that decontamination personnel do not have to cross the line of separation. It may also require an additional step to rinse off the disinfectant with water before departure. Under certain conditions, the regulator may permit a modified entry-exit protocol. This may include targeted decontamination of key contact points only, such as the milk collection hose, vehicle tyres, driver, cab interior, or could potentially include the use of centralised decontamination stations, servicing multiple properties in the area. The standard required will be prescribed in the movement permit issued by the regulator. Following final decontamination, the driver can exit the decontamination area and the traffic management controls can be reinstated. Inventory levels should also be assessed to ensure adequate supplies are available for ongoing operations. Removing protective gear. Decontaminating vehicles can be a physical and dirty activity, making it challenging to remove PPE in a biosecure manner. It is recommended that a buddy system is used, where a second person is available to assist the operator to remove gear. Remove face shield or protective glasses and store in a protected location. Some protective equipment may be safely reused, while other consumables may need to be double-bagged, disinfected and disposed of. Equipment that can be reused should be cleaned and disinfected, and then placed in a receptacle and labelled. Cleaning the outer layer of wet weather gear may be necessary to reduce potential contamination of underlying garments. Wet weather gear can be soaked in disinfectant and reused. Remove tape from top of boots and unzip the protective outerwear. Grab the outerwear on each side above the waist and wriggle the shoulders free. Peel the outerwear down to boot level. Remove gloves for disposal. Store non-disposable outerwear and footwear in a protected location near the C&D station to be reused. Following removal of all PPE and disinfection of reusable equipment, put on regular footwear and carry out personal decontamination. For personal decontamination, use a fresh batch of clean water, a hand towel and hand soap, and clean all exposed skin surfaces. Use the clean hand towel for wiping the face. Clean hands and forearms for at least 20 seconds with soap. Following cleaning, dry the skin with a hand towel and then apply an alcohol-based sanitizer and rub between the hands for 15 seconds. Do not apply sanitizer to facial areas. Safety. Decontaminating milk tankers is a labour-intensive and potentially hazardous activity. Ensuring the safety of personnel is paramount. The use of chemicals and high-pressure equipment can be dangerous if not handled correctly. It is important that all safety guidelines are rigorously applied. Working around trucks can pose risks due to lack of visibility. Clear communication protocols must be established between the driver and decontamination personnel. Use hand signals, radios, or other communication devices to ensure everyone is aware of each other's movements. Always consider the environment. Extreme weather conditions may impact the type of PPE that is required and how the activities are safely conducted. Establishing safe and effective protocols for decontaminating milk tankers in a foot and mouth disease response is critical to maintaining Australia's milk supply. Proactive steps taken by all industry partners to reduce potential viral spread from vehicles, roadways, and co-mingling locations will contribute to the overall success of eradicating disease. For more information regarding the decontamination of milk tankers, refer to the AusVet Plan Decontamination Manual and the Dairy Industry Enterprise Manual.